Hi guys, yeah, I'm going to give you 7 tips. That was why I was doing that. I'm going to give you 7 tips on hiring a property manager. So my name's Harvey, I'm a remote property investor, and I remember early on in my sort of property investing career, I come across, not early on, it's probably about 4 years into it, but early on in my education career, I come across the 4-hour work week. I went to seminars and everybody was saying outsource it, outsource. I love this concept. I'm not one of these entrepreneurs that are controlling and have to do everything myself. If somebody else can do it, it's like, yeah, you can do that. Brilliant, you take that from me. So I love that concept straight away, but I didn't realise the concept of you have to have systems, processes in not only outsourcing it to keep it outsourced correctly and keep it managed through correctly, you also need the systems and processes in actually finding the people to outsource it through. Finding talent is very, very difficult. It's a bugbear of mine when I hear sort of like coaches to say, oh yeah, do some rent to rents, which is massively time intensive. I'm not saying it's a bad strategy, but you've got to be aware of what you go into when you do stuff. But it's massively time intensive. And they just say one rent to rent will pay your property manager to manage it for you. Yeah, if you find somebody talented, good luck with that, and tell me if it's as easy as just plucking them out of the air. Show me where to pluck them and I'll pluck some more out of the air for my team. And I know this firsthand because I read the book 4-Hour Work Week. I went to the seminars. They was all saying just hire a property manager, just outsource it, and all I've done is I've done exactly that and outsourced myself a mess because I didn't have the management skills in place to manage them. I didn't have the hiring skills or the processes in place to hire them. But the first part of outsourcing is hiring them. So I'm going to do a video today that's going to give you some tips that I've learned from the massive pain I created and the mess I created in just outsourcing it without having the right strategies in place to hire the right people. I did hire some good people and I hired some really bad people, and some of the good people are kept, luckily enough. Some of the good people are lost because of the lack of the systems, support and the stuff in place to help them. Some of the bad people are kept too long because I just didn't have the systems to recognise it. They say hire slow, fire fast. I didn't get that. My old hiring methods was literally, I'd sit in front of you, I've only needed a bookkeeper, and you said, I've done bookkeeping before, and you had a sort of a nice smile on your face. I'd be like, oh wow, fantastic, do you want to start tomorrow? Here's a laptop, this is my vision, try not to bother me too much, I give you some flexibility and freedom, just get it done, no hours, no set times, you just, as long as the work's done, I don't mind. And oh wow, it ended up causing me a lot of pain taking that attitude to it, and I hope you don't, and probably you wouldn't be as flippant as I was with that. But either way, I'm going to give you some really good tips of the first part of it. The first part of it is the hiring part, is finding somebody to actually work for you. So that the hiring part, and number one of that tip is pre-qualify. Make sure you pre-qualify everybody you work with. Don't just give them a laptop. Don't just say, oh great, you've done this before, or especially with people you know, friends or family, you still want to put them through your pre-qualifying processes, you know. And I'll take you through some of them steps. So that's number one, is definitely pre-qualify. That's your big domino. That's the main thing, and all of these lead off the back of that number one little tip. Number two is put out a fantastic ad. Don't just put out admin staff wanted and list down the things. Make it a little bit more inventive. So at the moment I'm trying to hire a virtual assistant, and we need somebody doing my emails and just like virtual assistant stuff. So I've put in the advert, can you dot the I's, cross the T's, are you super detailed? And also, and this is a massive one, make sure you put your values in there. And I've got to make a note of that, values. Sorry guys, because I didn't put that on my notes. But I add my values into my advert, and also add things into it like I'm a small company, so we need solution-based minded people. I put things into it as well, I need a positive attitude and things like that. So then the next stage from that, number 3, is then going into when we get the applications back from them. You usually get quite a lot, especially if you use something like Indeed or something, or we use onlinejobs.pa. You get loads of applications back, so you sift through them. So many people just click on them and just apply when it's not even suited to them. Then you ask them to leave a voicemail. So this is a bit of a challenge with the onlinejobs.ph because they haven't got international calls and they're not very wealthy over there. But we got them there to do it via WhatsApp or Skype. And you get them to leave a voicemail answering 3 questions. And in the questions, you just hear so much just hearing their voice before you go to the interview stage. So many people turn up for an interview and just waste their time and your time. So this is fair on their time as well as yours, even though most people feel hard done by if you don't take them to that interview stage. But in them 3 questions, you'll hear in their voice. If you've got in your advert, I need someone solution-based and enthusiastic, and they go in at question number 2, I'm not quite sure what question number 2 means. Straight away, you know they're not solution-based. You don't want them to get the questions always right. You just want them to try and think of solutions. I do anyway. And number 2, you can see they're not very enthusiastic. But I go, I'm not sure, number 2. Can you give me some more feedback on number 2? So straight away, you're not going to waste their time taking them to an interview or your own time. It's a fantastic little tool that I learned. And yeah, really then sifts it down. Usually, if you put out a job and you probably get, say you've got 100 applicants, you'd probably half that down to around 40 to 50 people you would ask to do this voicemail, if that, you know. And then from the voicemail, it usually halves it down again. Sometimes it halves it down even less. On the online one at the moment with the virtual assistant, it less than halved it. On the one we done last with the hiring somebody on the ground, like and my lettings sort of side of the business, it just went half and half. So number 4 is then, once you've got the people you like and you want to take them to the interview stage, before that, send them a profile test, like to see what profile they are, to see if it matches it. So with my profile, I do wealth dynamics profiles, but I don't pay for these wealth dynamics profiles when I'm hiring people because they're $99. But I've done it on myself, so I'm a creator profile. But you can get like, I've just done Brian Mix. Somebody helped me with that profile. I just done one of those ones, and my friend David Coulter, he put it into characters from The Simpsons. It turns out I'm Barney on that one. But Wealth Dynamics, I use one. They do a free version, which is a reduced one. Most thing behind this is it gives you an idea what sort of profile they are. So you don't want somebody like me who's a creator profile, all vision, ideas, head in the cloud, but not detailed on your bookkeeping. You know, but vice versa, you wouldn't want somebody who's really detailed on your creative side, creating adverts and things like that, you know. So you've got to get the right matches within your company. Wealth Genius U do a free version, so I usually send them this free version first, and then later on, once we get to the final stage, I'll pay for a more in detailed one, and I usually use a disc profile at that stage, which is cheaper than Wealth Dynamics. Even though I prefer Wealth Dynamics, I still get enough from the disc profile to justify. I think the disc we pay £16 for, and the Wealth Dynamics $99. So yeah, if you've got 5 or 6 applicants, it could work out expensive. So yeah, profile test, get them to do that before you get to the interview stage. Also before the interview stage, what number is this? Number 5 is then I'll send them a little test, a pre-test. And most of this as well, even with the profile, is to see the effort and the effortness. Again, even at the stage of the answering phone, the effort to pick up a phone and leave 3 voicemails. You'll be surprised how many people won't take that effort. But they're disqualified themselves, or unselected themselves is the word I'm looking for, before you've even got there. But then after the profile test, I'll send them a podcast or a YouTube video. So we just hired somebody in the marketing team, and I sent them a video of a guy called Peng Jung who's showing you how he structures his Facebook marketing campaign and how he gets it all structured within his team. So I sent them that when we hired somebody in marketing to go, look, go over it and then write down some bullet points and get them to not just come back verbally, to write it down. So you're testing the action steps. And it seems like a lot, and it is a lot, but it's worth doing these steps. And you might put off the odd person that is still good, but the chances are that you're going to attract more better people, because they're going to think, oh, they're sort of detailed in what they're doing, they're taking it serious in what they're doing. So you do attract actually people. You might lose the odd one, but it's worth losing the odd one in comparable to the amounts of time wasted you're gonna like fish out and sift through by doing this. And then you want to take it to a trial basis. You don't want to just hire somebody, you want to give them a trial, because quite often some people are good interviewers. So you want to take it to trial bases. And going back also to using these steps, the lady I just hired in the marketing about 4 months ago wasn't my favourite person at the very first initial phone call stage. And because I put her through these processes, she absolutely shined through, and the person who's my favourite didn't even pass these. So if I'd have used my old way of hiring, I'd have hired somebody that couldn't even do these tests, you know, and it would have just caused troubles in my company. And now I've hired somebody so far, about 4 months in, who's been an absolute wizard in my company, and I was like, wow, like, so you can't trust your own instinct. We naturally gravitate towards people that are like us or we like naturally, and we have a confirmation bias, an internal bias that's beyond our conscious thinking that gravitates towards this. This is why you need these as well, these steps, to make sure you're not being biased in who you pick, you know. So and then step number 7 is once you've trialing them, make sure you've got some sort of form and system of supporting them and tracking them of what they do. Some people call them an audit, so I don't like the word audits. Words have massive power, and if you call something, if you're auditing somebody, they think they're getting checked up. So my company's called Growthproperties, so I call them growth trackers to make sure they're on track. We put their key performance indicators on there, we put my values on there, which is very, very important at the top, and then we put at the bottom a few tasks, what they've got to, like 2 to 5 tasks of what they've got to do throughout that month. And then monthly trackers, the manager goes over them with them weekly, reads through them with them weekly, but then scores them on them monthly, and they have to score themselves, so they have to go through it and score themselves. And the scoring goes like this: instead of saying poor, good, excellent, or whatever the order is, who wants to call themselves poor? And what manager wants to call somebody poor? It's very awkward. We've called it underperforming, performing, underperforming, performing, exceeding, rather than the like poor. Who wants to call itself poor? But just words, restructuring them makes it so much easier. Some people can admit, yeah, I'm a bit underperforming, you know, like, so yeah, it makes it such a more important thing. So once you've hired them, you've got to keep them engaged, keep them supported, and keep them going. And an extra little bonus I didn't write down is making sure you have an onboarding process. So day 1, week 1, and a little onboarding stuff to make sure they read through what they've got to do, have a little plan of action to onboard them, rather than what I used to do is say to them, here's a laptop, take it, crack on, try not to bother me too much, and good luck, you know. But guys, hope you found that useful. I'm gonna go through some of the people that's jumped on. Any questions? Have you hired it? Anybody, you know? So have a look on. We've got John here, Michael, thanks for the wave. Andy, thanks for the wave. Has anybody got any tips? Eddie, thanks for the wave. Charles, thanks for the wave. We've got Paul, Jane, Philip, Andy again. Thanks for the wave, guys. And there's a name here I'm struggling to. Arvinda. I think I said that right. I hope I did. I'm a little bit dyslexic. Apologise if I didn't. Thanks for the wave. But guys, yeah, here's your feedback. Is there any more questions you want to ask me on the hiring process? The last 3 times we've done it's not a bulletproof, it's not 100% foolproof. You've also got to test people for about 18 months before you know the true them, because you get, what happens is when somebody's doing a new adventure, they've got a natural excitement in them, it's new, it's exciting, then that tails off on anybody. So you want to measure them once that's tailed off, not when they've got their new exciting role and a new job and all the excitements are bubbling up naturally in them, you know. So you want to test that at that point after that. But yeah, let me know, is there any questions, or is there any ways that things you add to this? Mine's quite longer than this, but I thought I'd reduce it instead of going on for hours and hours, and plus my wife's got a meeting now. So guys, I'm going to leave you there. Pump any questions in you've got in the comments below. But remember, if you don't evolve your ideas, you'll never live on your own terms. So evolve your ideas to live on your own terms, and have a fantastic day, guys. Thank you very much.